right, for the second time, a federal appeals court denies Hawaii's request for clarity over part of the Trump administration's travel ban. At the end of June, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled to allow part of the order to go into effect. But the sticking point for Hawaii and other states was this section of the order. Foreign nationals seeking to enter the U.S. must provide proof of a, quote, bona fide relationship with any person or entity in the United States, must be a U.S. citizen, have a green card, be an employee, or have a family member. All right, so defining family is where it gets tricky. An applicant must have parent, spouse, fiance, child, adult son or daughter, a son or daughter-in-law, or a sibling living in the U.S. So what about grandparents, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews? Well, according to the new order, extended family is not legally family. So how do you legally define family? Our legal experts are here. Avery Friedman is a civil rights attorney, and Richard Herman, a New York criminal defense attorney. Good to see both of you.
Good to see you, Frederick.
All right, so Richard, you first. This definition of family, it's a narrower scope than, I guess, what universally might be accepted. So how does Hawaii or anyone want to challenge the definition of family?
I think, Fred, realistically, at this point, the Supreme Court has spoken on this issue. It's going to be a 90-day hold period. I don't think any district court's going to get relief from the decision that's laid out right now. 90 days, October, that's when this temporary relief afforded the administration, I think, and it's tough to predict with Gorsuch on the court, but I don't think Roberts is going to let this go. I think this whole ban is going to get thrown out. I don't think it's going to be held constitutional. You know, the president has tremendous plenary power to enact a law like this, Fred. But when you look at the nations involved here, those 6 nations, and you look at, like, Saudi Arabia, where terrorists have come from, and you look at these 6 nations on the ban where no terrorist has ever come from those states, it's kind of, but it is kind of ridiculous and disingenuous when the administration says they need 90 days to check the vetting process, and they filed this thing 6 months ago and do nothing about those 90 days. It's really disingenuous, and it's really transparent what's going on here.
But the Supreme Court would be involved in this only if Hawaii or other states would decide to take this challenge to the Supreme Court.
They will.
Do you see them doing that? You do think that, Avery?
Oh, sure.
Huh. Okay, Richard?
Well, Fred, the timing is everything right now. You know, August is coming. They take breaks. By the time the Supreme Court would even look at these papers, it's probably October. So ultimately, so emergency. They're not going to get an emergency stay now. The Supreme Court has spoken on this issue, and again, the bigger picture here, Fred. The bigger picture. The administration said they need this ban to protect the citizens of our country because they need to examine the vetting process. That's why they need this ban. And they need 90 days to look at this process, which, by the way, under President Obama, took 2 years. That was the vetting process.
Okay, last word, Richard?
Fiancés are included, too. They can come, fiancés.
Okay. All right.
All right, we'll leave it right there, gentlemen. Always good to see you. Richard and Avery, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Take care.